Hey guys, Daev'ja with a Destiny 2 Season of Dawn video. Today we're going to be looking at a weapon that I've been asking Bungie for so long since Forsaken and Random Rolls, and that weapon is going to be the Steelfeather Repeater Auto Rifle. Okay, no, I didn't specifically ask them to make the Steelfeather Repeater, but I have been asking for them to give us a 720 RPM rapid fire frame in the kinetic slot, and they finally did so. Rapid fire frame being 720 RPM has deeper ammo reserves and a slightly faster reload at the bottom of the magazine. We have fluted barrel and full bore as our barrel options, full bore being the best because of the huge bump to range. For our magazine, we have the options of light mag and flared magwell. Both got that reload speed, but again, light mag is hitting us with that range. Then our first trait is Slideways. Sliding partially reloads this weapon's magazine and temporarily boosts handling and stability, which is a very useful perk, and a new trait, Elemental Capacitor. Increased stats based on the currently equipped subclass. Reload speed solar, arc is handling, and void is stability. So with arc you have a mini snapshot, and with solar you have a mini, alloy magazine, flared magwell. It's like we have flared magwell and light magwell. Think about it that way. We have a handling masterwork, we have a masterwork, and I threw on a radar booster just for fun. We're using the new top 3 Dawnblade, so I figured it would have enough inner accuracy as is, but realistically I highly recommend putting an Icarus grip on a weapon like this. So if you're wondering how you go about getting yourself this weapon, there are actually 2 different ways to do it right now. One of those ways is by completing a run of the new activity, the Sundial, which will give you the optional reward of a Steelfeather Repeater or the sidearm, that's a name I cannot remember. Or the other way you can go about getting it is if you have the Obelisk unlocked at the Tangled Shore, which is one of the first things you do with the new season. You go ahead, you unlock the Obelisk. You can actually, anytime you go ahead and visit it, pick yourself up to 2 different time lost weapon frames for the Steelfeather Repeater. It will give you a random objective to complete, whether it be auto rifle kills, precision kills, solar kills. You get the gist. Random objective, you complete it, and it gives you a Steelfeather Repeater. So it's actually an incredibly farmable weapon. So if you look at the set of perks and you decide you have a god roll you want, it's actually very doable to get that god roll before the season passes. So now that you know how to get it, you probably want to know what you want on it, because if you're like most Destiny players, you haven't touched an auto in a long time, if it's not just one that you threw in your vault and you're just using it for a quick bounty. So with the rapid fire frames, their range stats are pretty bad across the board, and even though it is only by about 2 points, Steelfeather Repeater has the worst of the random rolled rapid fires. So you're going to want anything that increases the range, because range is very important, because auto rifles, their range is not that bad, especially for Crucible. Some of the archetypes can outrange hand cannons, rapid fires cannot. However, you definitely will be contesting them, and people like to keep their distance these days, so you're going to want to max out the range. My recommendations are a small bore, hammer forged, extended barrel, or full bore. Full bore is probably the best one because it gives you the most range, and the other stats don't matter too much because I feel like they're pretty strong. For your magazine option, well, again, you're going to want to extend the range as much as possible. However, for PvE, you might want appended or extended mag. Those are both great options, but for PvP, light mag, ricochet rounds, high cal rounds, or armor piercing, all of them will do you a great job because they increase the range. You have the around corner kill potential of ricochet rounds, you have the flinch of high cal rounds, and you have the increased reload speed, which pairs with a potential later perk on light mag. So as for our traits, we have 6 traits in each slot, and as I mentioned, it is incredibly farmable, so it's pretty easy to get the exact role that you're looking for, as long as you have the time commitment aspect of things. So in our first trait slot, we have the options of Grave Robber, Subsistence, Ambitious Assassin, Slideways, Feeding Frenzy, or Firmly Planted. For PvE, you're looking for either Subsistence or Feeding Frenzy. And with PvP in mind, you have the options of Subsistence, Feeding Frenzy, Slideways, or Firmly Planted. Personally, in this video I use Slideways. I'm a big fan of the Slideways perk, but honestly, because of how I play, I think Firmly Planted is the better one. And you're probably thinking, wait a second, you don't just stop and crouch and just shoot with this auto rifle. And I don't plan to, let that be clear. Firmly Planted counts while you're sliding. So that means when you slide around a corner, first off, its handling boost is better than the handling boost of Slideways. So by sliding around a corner, I effectively have Snapshot. Snapshot is a great perk that allows you to get off the first shot in any gunfight and quickly acquire your target. So Firmly Planted is great because it's like a sliding version of Snapshot, and on top of that, if you happen to be crouch spamming in a fight, every single time you get to the bottom part of your crouch, you're getting increased accuracy, meaning your bullets will land at farther ranges more consistently. You're getting a little kick to stability, and I'm not saying you're immediately going to notice when you're crouch spamming that all of a sudden your gun feels more stable, but it definitely might make a difference in one of your gunfights, so that's something to keep in mind. Then obviously the other options are all good in their own rights, because subsistence allows you to get a little bit of the magazine back on each kill, which might allow you to take down 2 or 3 people in succession, which the rapid fire frames I actually notice is something that happens in Crucible. There are definitely times where I chain kills back to back with the rapid fire frames because of their consistent time to kill and the huge magazines they have. With subsistence on top of that, you can continue mowing down. With slideways, it's the same thing as firmly planted, except the boosts are not as noticeable, and every single time you slide, you get a small portion of the magazine back. And then feeding frenzy is good because every kill is just going to give you a quick reload, and you can't go wrong with that. It's just outlaw but for the body. For our second trait slot, we have the options of Surrounded, Elemental Capacitor, which is the perk we have in this game, Swashbuckler, Osmosis, which is another new trait, Multi-Kill Clip, or Vorpal Weapon, another new trait. So with those, it's a little bit more clear what we want. Surrounded's not very useful in the Crucible, and honestly in PvE, I feel like Swashbuckler is a better option still. Swashbuckler, in case you don't know, is Rampage, but it stacks to ×5, and at ×5, it's equal to ×3. A little bit confusing with the numbers, but by getting a melee kill, it instantly gives you that ×5. And that's very realistic in the Crucible, seeing as we have so many more thrown melee options, and if not, your good old fist always wins you a close range fight anyways. So Swashbuckler is a very good perk for the Crucible. Multi-Kill Clip is fantastic because it's just Kill Clip. It's a baby version of a Kill Clip, because if you only have ×1, it's not as good. But at the end of the day, it's still more damage, and you know what we say on the channel, nobody complains about doing more damage. If you happen to get 2 kills before reloading, then you have, effectively, I believe it is better than Kill Clip. So again, it's just free damage, it's great. Osmosis, even though it's new, isn't great because using your grenade ability changes the weapon to match the element of your subclass. That's not relevant in Crucible at all. And Vorpal Weapon's only purpose in the Crucible was that it would allow the weapon to do more damage to a Guardian in their super, but even then, I don't know what the damage numbers are, and I'm just going to assume it's too niche to be on a gun that you're using like a primary all the time. So for PvE, I actually think that this is an incredible weapon. I think that this is a very relevant weapon in PvE, with weapons like Recluse getting nerfed. Obviously, there are some clear god rolls. A lot of people on Twitter and whatnot have been saying Feeding Frenzy, Multi-Kill Clip, and I totally understand. It's an obvious synergy. You get kills, you reload quickly, and then you have Multi-Kill Clips ×3, whatever, kill off a couple of dregs, and you get high stacks very quickly. But the role that I think is the best for PvE is Subsistence Swashbuckler. Like I said, you have options like Extended Mag or Appended Mag for PvE, so you can get the magazine upwards 65, 67 with Subsistence, meaning every kill is giving you like 13 bullets back with Swashbuckler stacks, so you get 1 melee kill, and then all of a sudden you're able to just keep shooting forever. It's like a budget sweep business. It doesn't fire faster, so it has a consistent fire rate, and its damage is higher because of Swashbuckler. So you just keep the chain, because every single kill refreshes the Swashbuckler ×5, and every single kill reloads the magazine, so it's just really good. It is a really good mow down ads weapon. But this is a PvP video. We normally don't even do the PvE side of things, but I felt like it's important because I think this is a very good weapon in PvE. But for the PvP side of things, the roles that I think you should be looking for are, again, Subsistence Swashbuckler. While it is not the same mowing down tons of people thing, it does help you in the 1v2 situations, maybe 1v3 if they're trickling in through a choke. Other options are Slideways and Elemental Capacitor. Obviously, just free stat buffs everywhere. It's great. Firmly Planted Elemental Capacitor, Feeding Frenzy, Multi-Kill Clip, Feeding Frenzy with really any of the perks, or the one that I'm specifically looking for, and I've gotten 2 of, but I am missing the Barrel and Masterwork that I want, is Firmly Planted with Swashbuckler. Like I said, you have the sliding mini snapshot. Not even mini, it just feels like snapshot. So you have the sliding snapshot, and then you have Swashbuckler, which every kill is going to give you a little bit more damage, and on top of that, if you get a melee kill, you get ×5, which is really good, and changes your time to kill to make it even more deadly. So my overall thoughts on this weapon are extremely positive. The weapon looks gorgeous. I mean, seriously, look at this thing. It takes shaders incredibly well. Its default look, its design is sleek, incredible. It has the Saint 14 theme. It's an awesome looking weapon. Its stats are very good as well, even though that range is just a little bit lower. My only complaint in the stats is that there's something... Its recoil direction is literally 1 point off of Reckless Oracle and like 2 points off Valkadon. Weapons that I really enjoy, but there's something about the recoil that it's just a little bit off. The recoil is not bad by any means, but it's just a little bit off. But that's my only complaint with the weapon. The weapon is fantastic. I think it is an awesome addition to anyone who likes auto rifles. Try it out on the Crucible. Trust me, it will do work. It is a fantastic weapon, and even though this isn't the world's best footage, this was my first game with the weapon. And there's something amazing about when your first game with a weapon is a really good game with a weapon. There's just something really nice that you don't have to play a second game for it or whatnot. Just knowing the first game is solid is a great feeling and speaks volumes for the weapon. While I don't have super in-depth opinions on it, I'm not even using a god roll here. I'm just using a roll that I thought was interesting. And speaking of the rolls, we went over the rolls. It has a ton of unique rolls. So it definitely stands out. It's unique. It's a fantastic weapon, and I'm incredibly happy with it. Had a very good game with it. Anyways, if you liked the video, if you liked my review, if you liked my thoughts, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, share the video with your friends, do whatever you want. As always, make sure you have a great day, but if you want to follow me on any of my other social medias, check the description down below. Follow me on Twitch, where I get a lot of this footage, including this live. And yeah, as I said, have a great day. And if you made it to the very end of the video, I probably should have said this earlier, but me and my friends on December 14th, as of today, the day of upload, we are doing a drunk raid marathon where we're going to be doing a drinking challenge throughout all of the raids. Feel free to check that out on my Twitch over at twitch.tv/GhostYearDave, starting at 6 Eastern. See you there.